All right, I am nothing if I am not prompt. So I know it's a couple minutes early, so I'm just gonna give everyone the chance to get on. So let's see. All right, we got one person on, 3 people on. I'm wondering if I can see my own live on my phone, because I have very bad connection in my office. So I am live from Ollie's phone, so hopefully he does not get FaceTime calls from any of his friends. And then I have my phone here so I can show you guys some stuff. So it is 8:59. We have a couple more minutes. No, that's not what I want. Sorry, I'm just gonna see if I can see myself on my own phone. Oh yeah, there we go. There's gonna be a lag. Shut the volume down on this. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do the about me, I promise. Okay, so you can hear me, everyone can hear me. We have 18 people on. I think something close to 80 said they are gonna RSVP. I am gonna save this and put it in the event. So if you need to jump off, oh, iPhone. Yeah, you do. The magic of iPhone screen sharing via the Mac. Yes, I could have used that tonight, but I'm good because I have my son's iPhone, my 12-year-old, who has had a phone since he was like 8 and he never uses it, so he doesn't really care. Can you guys hear me okay? It says low network connection. Am I good? Give a wave or whatever and let me know that I am good. Or am I breaking up? Am I good? I feel like I might not be good. Am I good? Okay. Shoot, I might have to move. Or let's see if I can swipe down. Hold on one second. I'm gonna go off that. Let's see if that makes it better. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna run off cellular and not my Wi-Fi. Okay, here we go. So I have a ton of notes and kind of stuff that I've just popped into my head as I've been planning and thinking about some strategy to share with you guys. And, you know, just to preface this is all kind of my own experience, my own research, what I have found to have worked for me, and I've tried a lot of things that haven't worked as well. So I'm going to touch upon some basic things, and to some of you I know who are hopping on, you are pretty well established on social media, and this may all be second nature to you, and for that I apologize, but I know that there are a lot of people on here who are new or don't know what they're doing or could use a lot of guidance. So here is the basics. Oh my God, this is driving me crazy watching myself on my phone. Okay, so you have to think of social media this way. You're running a business that is, I'm assuming, predominantly all of your marketing or most of your marketing you are doing on social media. So this is your storefront. So like I said in the videos in this event, if your storefront is private, you might as well have a storefront with boarded up windows. If your account is not public, no one can come into your store. So step one, your account needs to be public. It has to be public. I mean, all of this stuff, I'm sorry to say, is non-negotiable. If you want to build and grow your brand, I'm going to be dropping a lot of truth bombs. And I know a lot of you will have arguments and reasons why you don't want to do what I'm telling you to do, and that's totally fine with me, but I feel like you're going to come up against some walls and some roadblocks if you don't want to, you know, if you don't want to make your account public or whatever. Okay, so this is your storefront. If you're not public, you are basically have caution tape over the door and the windows are boarded up and no one's in there. So your account needs to be public. Your screen name, like I said, has to have something to do with you or your business. Preferably you, especially if you're an entrepreneur and are running a small business where you are the face of the business. Network marketing, I would for sure say that it needs to be your face. If you are running a business that has a great logo, like if you're a photographer or you're a graphic designer or whatever, and you have a really solid logo that you can put in the profile picture, great. But on the whole, I'm going to say that it has to be a picture of you. It has to be a picture of your face. So get a good picture of you and get a good picture of your face. Your dog or cat cannot be your profile picture. Agree. And I will also say that if you own a business that has products, I would say the reason that people are going to buy your products or whatever you're selling is because of you on social media. Not the products aren't going to sell themselves. You're going to be selling your products. I would say 99% of the time, your pony, nope. I need to see your face. And so now that we have the profile picture, needs to be you. Then you need to go into your bio, and it needs to have your name. And I loved Julia today. Not to call anyone out, but so Julia, I've been following on Instagram for quite a while now. She had probably some combo of her first initial and maiden name as her handle. No name in her bio, nothing. We were also Facebook friends. I never even knew that she was the same person that I followed on Facebook until I saw a picture of her son in both places. I was like, wait, these are the same people? So for me, with a lot of followers and all the interacting that I do on social media, sometimes you guys or someone will send me a message and I want to know who I'm responding to. And if I'm responding to, Cat Lady 101 and there's no picture of you and I click on it and I don't know your name or whatever, it's so confusing to me. It drives me insane. So branding is everything. So Julia did a great job of listing, like in her bio, some stuff about her. So when I go over and click on it, I see your name. I see what you do and what your platform is. So for me, let's see, I'll get out of this. So I have, if you're coming on late, I'm recording on my son's phone so I can use, I forget how to do this. Okay. Hold on, let me flip it around. Flip it around. Okay. So for me, I have my name and then I'm a photographer, Boston, and then you can use 3 hashtags in your bio. I strongly recommend picking 3 hashtags that characterize who you are and what you're doing. So I have photographer, stylist, influencer, and then I kind of have a little mishmash of all the things that I do on my account. I also have another account which I've linked here so people can seamlessly move between my 2 accounts. And then I have, rather than one link, because I do have a blog and I have a bunch of different links. So I use this links in bio so that you can click on that. And then it comes up with, these are all the links that I can use. So there are a couple different companies that you can, I switched to public figure, yeah. So there are a couple of different companies that you can do to get yourself multiple links. I think I may pay 20 bucks a year to have this look pretty uniform and look like my Instagram feed. Links in bio is what I use, and it's lynxinbio.com. So if you are a person that not only has a website, but a blog and a bunch of other things that you want to link up, I would suggest using Linktree or links in bio or whatever. Okay, so then I have where I live. Okay, all of this stuff If you're a private person and you're trying to build a business online, I'm gonna say you probably are in the wrong business, but you need to put yourself out there. So I'll turn you back around. Okay, so again, that's the kind of stuff different people use. You can use emojis, you can break it up. I broke mine up by using the little plus sign. You want it clear, concise, easy to read, not a mishmash of words. You want people to be able to glance at it, look at your feed, look at, you know, who you are and what you do. So every time you comment on someone on Instagram and they click on you, your screen name, it'll bring up your page and they can see who you are and what you do. So I did the exercise. I had all of you guys put your Instagram feeds in this group. And some of them, when I went through, I'm like, I don't even know what you guys do, which is totally fine because you're just getting rolling. But this stuff is so important. Like if you're going to start anywhere, start here before you even think, should our accounts be business accounts? The answer to that is yes. If you're a numbers person, my account is a business account. I like to look at the statistics. I like to see how many people have visited my account in the last week. I like the feedback, but I don't know. I go back and forth. Sometimes I feel like if I'm not getting a lot of interaction, I'm not getting a lot of engagement, I will switch back to a personal account. You can switch back and forth from personal to business very seamlessly and it doesn't affect anything. So I'd play around with it and see how you like it best. Here is my one thing with it is that if you have a business account, the only way you can link it to Facebook is you have to have a business page on Facebook. So if you're gonna share something from Instagram to Facebook and slide over the share button, it will only share to a business page. You cannot share to your personal page on Facebook. So that is a drawback, as I don't really use my business page on Facebook. I hate that you have to pay for ads to get any sort of traction. There's no cost to have a business or a personal Instagram. It's just a preference of how you want to use it and if you want to see the analytics of who's visiting your page. They do try to target you and you can pay to bump your posts. So I've never done that. I don't know. I've boosted posts on Facebook in the past when I was really, really active with my photography business. And I did have some luck with that, but let's just talk Instagram. I don't know that boosting posts is the way to go on Instagram. So I would say the cost overall is $0 at this point. This is totally free. It's a totally free way to advertise, but because it's free, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I will say that all of this stuff, like I said in my post earlier, like it takes a lot of work and a lot of grit. Rather than, you need to use your time effectively rather than scrolling and just randomly looking at, you know, your cousin's kids splashing in a puddle. Like that's a waste of your time. So you need to use your time on social media effectively. Okay, so you can use 3 hashtags in your profile, pick them accordingly. You can kind of play around with them. They will, so if I guess I'm assuming that everyone knows what a hashtag is and what a hashtag does, but just quickly, hashtags catalog your posts and they draw new eyes to your posts. So just while I'm on that right now, we'll go over hashtags really quickly. Should you be using hashtags in your posts? Absolutely yes. However, Instagram is really trying to crack down on bots. And so recently, over the past 6 to 9 months, they keep doing what's called shadow banning. So if they think for whatever reason that you might be a bot, they will put you on shadow ban and then people will not see your posts. A fast and sure way to get shadow banned is to do like 20 hashtags on a post. Bad idea. Instagram will think you're a bot and you will get shadow banned and your posts will not get any traction or be seen for like a week until you kind of correct your behavior. I recommend 5 hashtags per post. I usually do like 3. Make them super specific and related to your post. So there's all these different games of thought on hashtags, but if you're hashtagging stuff to draw an audience, or for example, I'm selling essential oils. If I think in my head essential oils are liked by like super crunchy people, and I have a post of something, I'm trying to think of a good example, but I do not put unrelatable hashtags. Even if you put them in the comment, you will get shadow banned. If you specifically put more than 5, I mean, they say you can do up to 10. I just keep it to 5 just to make sure that I'm not going to get shadow banned, because getting yourself out of a shadow ban is a bitch. It's happened to several friends of mine, and it's so hard to get yourself out. It's like they put you in jail, and it's really, really hard to get out. You really don't need more than 5 hashtags in your posts. When I first started Instagram, there was not this issue, and I had a whole list of hashtags that I put in every single post, and I just copy and pasted them from my notes in. Instagram is a whole different game these days. Pick 5 that relate specifically to your posts. So for example, if I'm posting something like a picture of, behind me, my essential oils situation, and I hashtag it French Bulldogs, because I also have French Bulldogs and I'm trying to draw those people into my feed, that's just lame. Like if I'm then searching French Bulldogs and I'm like psyched to see people's feeds that have French Bulldogs, and I see a picture of this hashtag French Bulldog, I'm gonna be pissed. So don't hashtag things that are unrelated just to draw eyes to your page. Like, you gotta kind of be smart about it, because otherwise people think you're kind of a pain in the ass. How can you tell that you're shadow banned? If you're typically getting 30, 40, 50, 100, whatever likes on a picture, and all of a sudden you're posting stuff and it's like crickets, you can pretty much bet that you've been shadow banned. And you can ask around to your friends, ask if they're seeing your posts in their feed. Like, they don't tell you you're shadow banned. You just get like no interaction and no one will see your stuff. So if you're gonna put all this work into creating content, you wanna make sure that you don't get shadow banned, and that you know enough to try to figure it out. If you're not getting any interaction, check to see if you're shadow banned. Another thing about shadow banned is they have shadow banned certain hashtags. Don't ever use a hashtag like hot or sexy, or boho is one that they've shadow banned, because then people who post porn have started using hashtags like boho for boobs or whatever. So then they ban that hashtag. So if you post a picture with a hashtag that's been shadow banned or that's been banned, they're gonna put that on your account. So you can Google shadow banned hashtags to get an idea of what they are. I just tend to stay away from super generic hashtags. And if you're not sure if a hashtag is shadow banned, put it in the search feature, and then if no pictures come up, you know that it's a shadow banned hashtag. So you could probably put porn in and nothing would come up, and you know that that's shadow banned. So all right, that's hashtags. Okay, we've covered links. Okay, so we're gonna move on to creating your brand. So this is kind of like all encompassing, and this is really what you want to focus on. So I'm assuming you are here because you have a certain product, service, whatever that you're trying to offer your people. But I will say this, and I will say it again, I said it earlier, people are not going to follow you on Instagram if all you do is post about whatever the hell it is you're selling. Like, there's no bigger turnoff than seeing constant sale, this, that. Like, no, nobody wants to see that. You need to draw them in with you. And how do you do that? You have to, first of all, be yourself. I said this earlier. Don't be the person you think you should be. Don't be the person that we think you should be. You just have to be yourself. You just have to be yourself. You need to speak the way you would normally speak. You need to write your posts the way you speak so that when we read your posts, it is clearly your voice. And this is how your brand evolves. You need to be yourself, and you need to post things that are authentically you. So this is the deal. You need to create original content. I see this all the time, especially in network marketing, people just reposting the crap out of everyone else's post. And you think, like, if it worked for them, then it's going to work for me. But you know what? I'm just going to call people out on it. I shared a picture of my before and after with Rodan and Fields with Caroline. She then posted it. I've seen that same picture of me literally thousands of times in my Facebook feed and in my Instagram feed. Do you think, I mean, I know it's of me, whatever, but like, I don't want to see that same picture over and over and over again. That's not going to sell more skincare. The thing that's going to sell more skincare is like, what content do you have? Like, what do you have to say? Don't continue to share other people's stuff, especially if it's like a screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot, and all at that point it's like completely pixelated and it's crappy quality, and your feed just looks like ugh. I know people love reposting quotes and motivational quotes, but if they're not you and they don't really speak the way that you would speak, or if it's not something that you would say, like, if there's kind of not a lot of value in posting it. Because here's the deal. When I'm scrolling Instagram and I see someone post something, I want to know, like, what's in this post for me? What can I learn from this post? What can I gain from this post? Visually, what am I seeing here? Like, I want to see a beautiful picture that's clear and sharp and well edited. And I also want to see content that relates to the person that's posting it. So if all you're doing is reposting everyone else's stuff, I think you need to rethink kind of where you're going with your business, because I don't think you're going to draw any new eyes on you, and you have nothing unique to you to bring to the table. So when I buy things, I'm a huge consumer from Instagram and influencers. I would say I buy like 90% of my clothes based on recommendations from Instagram. And how do I make those choices? I make the choices of what I buy and who I click on based on how I relate to that person. So if I follow you and you have great pictures that I can totally relate to, and I trust you, and I feel like I look at what you're saying and what you're sharing, and I'm like, yeah. Then I develop, I feel like I am like you. And if I feel like I am like you, then I should like what you like, right? So like, if I totally relate to you and you recommend this pair of jeans, even if my body looks nothing like your body, in my brain, I'm like, yeah, I totally need those, right? So if you are not you and sharing who you are and what you're doing, no matter what you're selling, whether it's art or skincare or photography or whatever, if I don't know who you are, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I want that. Like I'm going to be like, I don't even really know who this person is, or I don't know if I can trust them because I don't know what they look like, or, or what their story is. So you need to be original. You need to be authentic, and you need to be relatable. You need to be totally relatable. So reposting other people's quotes and stuff, to me, not relatable. Like, I unfollow those accounts. Like, boring, snooze, not interested. So so I have a couple of recommendations. Hold on. All right. Yeah, I already. Okay. So how do we do that? How do we create original, authentic content? Get your pen, get your pad, get ready. You need to pick 5 things that you bring to the table? What are 5 things that you are passionate about, that you're really good at, and that you can share with other people, right? So for me, let me bring up my Instagram. So I probably have more than 5 because I'm a super crazy passionate person and I have a hella ton of interests. But, all right, so just flipping it around. Okay, so for me, I'm a photographer. So, and I do a lot of interior design photography. So we have a little bit of photography, interior design. I'm obsessed with laundry and sheets and bedding. So I like to do tips that I can share with you or like encourage a conversation around certain topics. So if you follow me in my stories, you'll know that I wash my sheets like 3 days a week. And some people think I'm crazy, but another friend suggested that I do an Instagram post about it because it's actually not that daunting to wash your sheets 3 days a week. So I kind of went through and I was like, this is how I do it. So I always try to think of, you know, what's in it for me, meaning what's in it for the people that are following me. What are they going to learn or take away from this post? So in here, this one, for example, I had done a quick makeup tutorial on my stories and I did a post to let everybody know that I did my everyday makeup on my story. So some days I do makeup, other days I have 2 French bulldogs. That's not even my dog. So I post about dogs. Okay, essential oils is my business. So I post about oils, but do you see, I don't post about oils very often. I post about oils about every 6th post or so. So that's one about oils. I go to the gym. I like to inspire people to go to the gym. I share the good, the bad, and the ugly of my gym. More dogs, interior design, and then you'll see that I appear in my feed. I try to do like every 5th or 6th. And that is key. If you don't appear in your feed ever, as Curry said, sketchy. I don't want to follow you. Like, who are you? Like, I don't want to follow anyone that's like some mysterious rando that's like, I don't know. I always feel like that people are like catfishing or whatever if they never have a picture of themselves on their feed. So pick 5 or 6 things that you bring to the table, and then you plan your posts around those things. So one of the 5 or 6 things is your business, whatever it is that you have going on, whether it's yoga or whatever, I have some personal training or whatever. Some of the other 5 or 6 things can be tied into whatever you do, like wellness. So like I do essential oils and it's very tied into wellness. So like my gym and my cooking and grocery shopping and all that stuff, it kind of all ties together, but they are different topics. So planning your posts. So the social media thing, it takes time and it takes planning and it takes effort. So what I would suggest is pick your 5 things and rotate them in terms of your posts. You want clear pictures with uncluttered backgrounds. I know not all of you photographers, I would say probably most of you don't even have a camera other than your phone, which is totally fine. If we have enough time tonight, I'm gonna go over some iPhone photography tips. If we don't, I'm gonna do a follow-up to this and go all in deep of how to make your feed look beautiful. But we're not gonna worry about that right now. Right now, we are going to just stick to figuring out what our content's gonna be. So pick the 5 or 6 things that you are good at. It can evolve over time. Like, you don't have to commit exactly to the 5 or 6 right now. Baby shark. See, that's one of the things, like, Curry asked me, can one of my things be parenting? And absolutely yes. Relatable. Like, people, you need to sing Baby Shark on your stories. Like, I would cry laughing. Like, parenting is one of the best things, especially if your kids are funny and cute. I will say, now that I have teenagers, like, I don't necessarily, if your feed is only your kids and toddlers, like, that's not going to draw my interest, and I probably won't follow you for very long. But if it's every 5th or 6th post, like, I'm totally in to see a super cute, hilarious kid. So I love seeing kids on the stories. I love, like, to use Julie again, when her son Milton does his, like, little promos of her products. It's like frigging amazing. So use what you have. So I have older teens who want absolutely nothing to do with me and nothing to do with this Instagram situation. Everyone in their entire school follows me and they hate it and they want nothing to do with it. So I kind of try my best to keep them off my feed and off my stories, just for literally so they don't disown me. But Ollie, who's my 12-year-old, you will see him on my stories a lot because he's usually down and I do bribe him. It's awful to say, but I do bribe him because he's great material. He's really fun. So anyway, so pick... my kid is 27 and my life is boring. That is not true. Okay, so someone else asked me the other day, while we're on this subject of, like, if you're clamoring to figure out, like, what the hell do I have to bring to the table? She said to me, I'm trying to show more of my life, but I'm so private. And she's a nurse. So I said, listen, you don't need to show the inside of your house or your kids. You really don't. But what people want to know is, like, what does she eat for lunch? What kind of music does she listen to in her car? Like, the best place to take quick videos or take a quick selfie is in your car. The lighting is great. And you can just do, like, a quick little, like, rocking out to whatever song. I mean, if you watch my stories, you know that I constantly do, like, carpool karaoke and whatever. I just have fun with it. Milton might need his own gram. I think Milton does need his own gram. But, share what you're eating for lunch. Share, I said this to Kari the other day. People want to relate. Show your disaster ass car if you have little kids. Like, everyone wants to feel better about themselves. So if you show your, like, car with goldfish mashed in between the seats and whatever, and you're like, ugh, I gotta clean my car or whatever. So relatable. Show it on your stories. Behind the scenes. People are nosy as fuck. Yes, and I am one of those people. I want to know what's going on behind the scenes. Like, if I were watching this video right now, I would spend the entire time trying to figure out, like, what's behind me. I'm so nosy like that. Like, I'm the type of person that has to, like, restrain every bone in my body when I go to a dinner party, like, not to look in the medicine cabinet. Like, that's how nosy I am. And I need to do a class on how to do the story. There's really nothing to do in stories, and I'm going to hit that next. But so just come up with your 5 things, and literally one of your 5 things can be, like, if you like to read, what I'm reading this week, and then what is everyone else reading? What podcasts? I love podcasts. I could do 1 post a week on the podcasts that I listen to. There's so many different things that you have to offer. You just need to think outside of the box and don't try to think, like, big picture. Like, you don't need to be an Olympic skater to, like, have skating. Like, it can be so minor. Like, if you're into yard work, that can be one of your things. If you're into gardening and you have some cool, or whatever, if you like to buy fresh flowers every week, boom, there's one of your things. Like, here, I'm at Trader Joe's, I'm picking out my flowers for the week. Do I think more than 1 post a day is too much? You can do 2 if you want. Personally, I like to do 5 or 6 posts a week, and I've been doing this for so long that at this point I feel like content is such a time suck that if I have something else to say in a day, I will hold it for the next day just so I don't run out of content. Another thing I suggest is planning your content, shooting some of it, like on a Sunday. I like to, get ahead of the game. I don't always do this, but I try to, and I'll try to shoot like 3 or 4 shots that I can use that week on a Sunday. And then I have them ready to go. And I try to post every morning, mid-morning. The other thing is consistency. You have to post consistently. You got to post every day. Your people will come to expect it. Like Caroline says, if she doesn't post a story in the morning, people are like, oh my God, did she die? Like, I wake up expecting to see stories from certain people or posts from certain people, and you just gotta deliver. And consistency is key. I take off sometimes Saturdays and Sundays, or sometimes I might take off a Friday if I'm super busy, but I do try to do at least 5 posts a week, sometimes 6. And I do try to shoot them on Sundays. I take like an hour away from my family and I like collect my props and whatever and just shoot whatever I need to shoot. I have the new iPhone XS Max. The camera on this is phenomenal. I think since I've gotten it, I've pulled out my, DSLR once. iPhone photography at this stage in the game, if you ever, I went from the 7 Plus to this. If you have this iPhone 7 or above or Galaxy or whatever, I'm going to get to stories in a second. Then just use your phone. Don't even obsess about it. Okay. One last thing about your feed and getting your content out there. And I'll hit this probably in our next class, editing your photos. There are, if you have a pen, and I will put this in the notes, there are several different apps that you can use to edit your photos. Professional iPhone photography. So I use the VSCO app. I actually use Lightroom for iPhone. If you have any experience with Lightroom on the computer, the app is very similar. I highly recommend it if you have any sort of Curry. I don't know if you use that or not. Yes, you need to shoot unique images. So there are ways to edit them. And what I'm going to say now is going to be a friggin' truth bomb. Edit them in a timeless way. I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm just going to say it. All this like super orangey, saturated filter shit that's going on right now, everyone's going to look at it and be like, ugh. You're going to go back in your feed and be like, ugh, that was so 2018. Why were we doing that? Where everything looks orange. When you decide, if you do that and then you're like, ugh, I don't like that anymore, you're going to have a really hard time transitioning out of that really orange filter to like a normal looking filter. I highly recommend going with some sort of very classic color scheme. I do love the super bright and overexposed, like almost like blown out look. I'm totally fine with that. And I think that that's around to stay. It's just really clean. But the orangey filters, I don't know. I'm just going to put it out there as a photographer. It's horrible. I don't like it. I follow a lot of people who do it and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I think it's going to be totally regrettable. So anyway, if I were you, I would keep it very classic on the editing. And if you are using an app, use a similar filter every time. It doesn't have to be the exact, I'll give you an example. I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus, but whatever. We all know, we all know bloggers who use it. So here we go. This is what I'm talking about. See how every single tone in here is orange, and these are like all these, like those are probably pink and she's edited them to look orange. Like everything in here is orange. This is a thing. It's a trendy thing right now. I don't know what filter it is that everyone's using. Yes, Color Story. So VSCO, Color Story, PicTap Go. There are so many great filters in there. I use VSCO. Fresh and Clean, there are a couple different filters, and sometimes I mix them depending upon the lighting of the picture that I take. But I like my feed to look clean and bright. Okay, the other thing I was gonna say is clear images, no clutter in your background. Like the best thing you could possibly do for your Instagram feed is go to Walgreens or CVS, whatever, and buy like a white poster board, like a foam core board. And then you can just lay that down next to a window and you can shoot from above, put in a couple of flowers, you put your product, you do your flat lays, you can put some clothes on top of it, and boom, there you go. Yeah, the orange thing is so bad. All right, that topic, I think we can all agree that it's not good. And if you're doing it, I don't mean to offend you. I think it's just a trend that's not going to stick around. So get yourself a whiteboard or 2 whiteboards and put them in a window. Make sure there's no direct sunlight on it. So you want it in the window, but not with a bright direct sunlight glare. You want it like kind of in the shade, if that makes sense. So if the light is pouring through your window, you don't want it in the direct line. You want to pull it a little bit aside so there's enough light, but not like glare all over whatever you're taking. Also, if you're taking a selfie, go stand in the window. Always take your pictures near the window. White background. Another great background is if you have like a Carrara marble. Kitchen island is another nice, clean, usually glare free if it's honed, is super nice. I like the foam core because it's not shiny and so you don't get like a big reflection. So a couple things. And then also when you're thinking about composing your images for your feed, if I'll turn it around and bring it back to me. So while this blogger had all the orange, so they always say like pick a few colors so you get like a cohesive look. So if you can see like my colors, obviously, and you can see from my highlights and my logo and everything, I've gone with like a blue kind of aqua look, and then I do pops of pink. So, you know, there's like a little turquoise, blue, pink, navy is kind of the theme. And these are all shot on a white poster board. This is shot against my white house just in the shade. This is on my bed. So if you have like a solid color quilt that goes with your color scheme. So, you know, you can throw in different colors. Obviously, it's an orange shirt on there, but you can see the pops of pink, the blue, there's a little yellow there. But, you know, you would look at my feed and think, you would probably know when a picture comes up that it's going to be mine. And that's what you want to go for. You do not need to be a professional photographer to make your feed look pretty and cohesive. You just need to put a little bit of thought into when you're setting up your pictures for whatever it is. Like, I don't necessarily too much think about what I'm wearing because I pretty much only wear gray, blue, pink, white, black. So I guess it all goes, or jeans or whatever. But I do think about if I'm laying a flat lay, like a couple of different pops of color. And if I need a little pink, I'll throw in some flowers. And the reason I like to shoot on Sundays is because I usually go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods and I will pick up some fresh flowers and to, you know, for example, just to turn around for a second. Oh, now the light's on. How do I get rid of that? All right, there we go. So I will shoot, like I shot this on a Sunday when I just come back from Trader Joe's. I had these little air plants that I just gotten. So I usually, there's no flowers in those, but I will usually, all right, this, you know, I'll come back, throw flowers in my sink, take a picture of that. Like there's so many different things. And you do not always have to have like a perfect picture. This is a selfie of me in the mirror in the gym because I do, you know, the gym is one of my things. So anyway, okay. TJ Mondays, or TJ's, oh my God, do you guys see my stories? I tried to go to Trader Joe's at 8:15 this morning and they were closed. Who knew they didn't open till 9? Not me, I was furious. Okay, so that's your feed. 5 things, 6 things, what are you good at? This is like, it's a lot to think about and consider, but I've been doing this like build your brand course kind of thing, and the girl who teaches it, I love her mantra is done is better than perfect. So I don't add real life pictures in my feed. What do you mean by that? Like candids? Is that what you mean? She's not responding. Okay. So anyway, done is better than perfect. Don't overthink it. Do not overthink it. If you post a picture in your feed and then you decide you don't like it, you can always delete it. So don't overthink that. One more thing on your feed before you move to stories is that, so you shoot your picture, you've got your concept. Today I'm gonna talk about health, diet, whatever I'm making for dinner as it ties into my theme. And whatever the picture is gonna be. It can be a flat lay of a couple of the ingredients that you're putting in. It can be a picture of the finished meal, whatever it is. It can be a picture. I do not put candids in my feed. I don't like the way that looks. It's too cluttery for me. But I'm a professional photographer and I'm super anal. So if I am gonna put, all the pictures in my feed are staged, yes. 99% of them are staged unless I take a selfie at the gym and I can't clear the clutter from the background. But it takes literally a nanosecond to stage a picture. All I do is like literally, I used to show this on my stories all the time, like the tornado that's happening behind the picture in order to get the perfectly uncluttered picture. I have a really hard time visually looking at someone's, when I'm scrolling through and there's a lot of clutter and it's not like a pretty clean picture. Like I have a hard time like looking at the picture and seeing the story there. Just, that's me. So I think if you're building a brand, I don't know that yes, that's why you have your stories. So the stories are the underbelly of the whole situation. So I would say yes, your feed, the pictures in your feed should be staged. It is what it is. I mean, you might be out, so say you work on a team and you might be out and you have a team picture that you want to throw in there, maybe 1 or 2 of those a year, but it should not be candids of you and your friends at a bar. It should not be random, it just shouldn't be random pictures. It's not visually appealing if you're trying to build a brand. If Instagram or Facebook for you is just about sharing pictures of your kids to your cousins, go for it. But like if you're trying to build a brand, like imagine if you walked into a store and there was kind of shit everywhere just because that's what was going on that day. You would have a hard time figuring out what was going on in there and what they were selling and what to even buy. So you have to think of your social media as your storefront. So would I stage it? Yes. Just like if I were to have a store, I would neatly arrange all the items that I was selling to look very visually appealing, right? Because you're never gonna buy anything that's a cluttered mess. Think of your Instagram and your social media the same way. This is your storefront. This is the image you're portraying. I Snapchat sometimes, but I wanna say like save all that for Snapchat. It doesn't need to be in your Instagram feed. It can be in your stories. Lastly about the post, I keep trying to get to this and I need to open it up for questions, is you need a call to action when you're writing your posts. There's a couple different things. Your posts need to be brief, run-on paragraphs, totally overstimulating and tough on the brain. They need to be concise and split up your paragraphs. And I can't get into that now as to technically how to do it. You can Google it, on Instagram, how to break up your paragraphs so that you can, it's kind of tricky, but you need to split up your thoughts. You can't throw diarrhea of the mouth at people. They will scroll on by. I can't even deal with looking at more than like a couple sentences chunks of sentences that are not broken up in a post. Call to action, what is that? It's asking people to respond. So 99% of the time that I post on Instagram, I will ask a question so that it kind of is calling you to interact with me. So if I just post a picture of like the place setting that I said today, and I said like happy fall, you would have no compulsion to comment on it at all. None. But what I wrote was, I'll flip you around. So this is my picture from today. And then I wrote, let's talk about fall decor. Do you decorate for the seasons? And then I talked about how I used to decorate for Halloween, but now my kids are too old and I feel like the Halloween Grinch. So that is a call to action. Do you decorate for the seasons? People have stuff to say about that, especially if people do decorate for the seasons. They're like very proud of that. And another thing is your call to action can actually, believe it or not, have nothing to do with the picture. You can post a picture of the most beautiful sunset. If you're on vacation and you take a picture of like a beautiful sunset, but you don't really have like something to discuss about the sunset, you can post that beautiful picture as long as it's visually appealing and fits in your feed. And you can say something like, I need a new podcast. What is everybody listening to right now? These are the ones that I love, and list like 3 or 4 that you love and get people to comment what their favorite podcasts are. Those are huge engagement posts. When you ask for recommendations on podcast, Netflix, books, what's everyone reading? What are your favorite books? What's the favorite thing you read this summer? Whatever. People respond to that. People love to help. People love to give you their opinion. So if you ask them a question and they feel like they can help you, they are totally going to comment on your picture. So not a ton of words. You got to break it up so you catch their attention pretty quickly. They don't have to sort through a ton of words, but a call to action. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can ask questions and get people to engage with you. I actually think of it as like a fun little challenge. Every day I'm like, okay, I have a great picture. What the hell am I going to say to get people to actually respond to this? So, I ask a question with every single post. Yes, Kari and I talked about call to action the other night and she's implemented it and it totally works. People love to give you their opinion. And if you don't ask for their opinion, I mean, there are people that will give it to you unsolicited, but when you're asking for solicited advice, people love to jump in and tell you what they think. Try it. I mean, there's so many different things that you can ask. I mean, even if you don't even want to know, like, I'm looking for a new concealer. Anyone have any great ideas? Like, literally, people will answer anything that you ask. I mean, some people will scroll on by, but you will get so much more engagement if you ask a question. Lastly, like I said, when I showed you my feed, you need to be in every 5th picture. You need to be in every 5th picture. Do you respond to all the responses? Yes, that is another thing. If you are building your brand and you are asking people to give you feedback, it is absolutely your responsibility to then respond back to them. Even if it's just a heart emoji or a thank you, it will inspire them to comment more. It's so feel good. Don't you love when people write back to you? If you take the time to comment on their feed and then they respond back to you, that just feels so good. Not only that, but it gives you another comment. So it ups your engagement. So this is the other thing. In terms of getting engagement, you want a call to action. Do not post and walk away. Do not post and put your phone down. You need to be available to answer those, especially the posts, all the comments that go up in the first 10 minutes. That is key for engagement and the algorithm. So do not post and put your phone down. You need to post and stick around for 10 minutes. And if anyone comments on your post in those first 10 minutes, respond immediately. That ups your engagement and bumps you up in the algorithm and gets your post in front of more eyes. It's all a big game. So post and be available. And then I try to respond, like before I go to bed, I'll go through and make sure I've done a quick response to everyone who has commented on my post for the day. Sometimes I can't get to it all, but I do try my best. Getting back to people is huge. And I have a huge pet peeve with, is there a time of day that's best to post? There are so many different frames of thought on this. Lunchtime is a great time, actually. There are a lot of people who are active in the lunchtime I usually post around 10 a.m. Just because it works for me. I think the best time of day to post is for you, whatever time you can post, honestly. And just try to keep it consistent. If you're a morning poster, keep it in the morning. Sometimes I post at 9, sometimes I post at 11. I tend to be a morning kind of poster. I very rarely post in the afternoon or evening. And my people have come to expect me to post in the morning. So just be consistent. Whatever you're going to do, just be consistent with it. And we can't always, I mean, there are times where I post and I have to run to a meeting or whatever, and I cannot respond immediately. But overall, I try to be available for the first 10 minutes just to get my engagement up and make sure that I can respond to those people that hit me quickly. I just have thought. And now I am, responding. So someone asked about responding. So now we will move quickly to stories. I have 5 minutes left. Instagram stories, what are they? Why do I need to do them? You have to do them. I mean, you don't have to do them. You don't have to do anything. People watch stories. I don't even look at my feed very much anymore, to be honest with you. When I open my Instagram, I go straight to Instagram stories. So what are stories and what do they look like? So I will flip you around. So when I open my Instagram, I'm trying to do this lefty. So this is what comes up. These are my stories. And these are the people whose stories I watch. I tend to watch the most. The more you watch their stories, the algorithm will bump them up in your feed. So these are all right. So this is me, my other account. So I'll just show you. So if you don't know what a story is or have never seen it. So this is me talking about how I'm about to go live. Do I put all my Instagrams on? No, I keep it separate. So there's a whole new thing with the algorithm where they are not liking if you share from your Instagram to your Facebook. You're not getting as much exposure on both places. I just learned this recently. I'm trying to implement it. You can use the same picture, post it separately, and use slightly different wording, and you should be fine. But manually, like sliding that over to post to Facebook, apparently, from what I've learned recently, is like not, yes, you can watch it later, Megan. I am saving it in here, so you can have access to this at any time. Don't worry about it. So yes, you can post the same pictures, similar content, change your wording up a little bit so that the Facebook and Instagram algorithm recognize them as two different things. The other thing is, like I said, less is more. The more words you use, the more Instagram or Facebook are going to identify it as an ad or as you trying to sell something. And especially if you use words like sale, discount, hurry, whatever, the algorithm's going to be like, nope, not showing this to anyone. So that's why we really try to keep it personal and keep your sales post to a minimum. And even if you're sharing about your business, I do not post my Insta stories to Facebook. So stories are not live. They are 15-second clips that save in your story for 24 hours. And after 24 hours, they are gone. So basically you get the chronicle of what people are doing for the day. And then once the 24 hours is up that the story has been there, then it just disappears. So live is something different. Totally running out of time. We might have to do a different one on this. But if you guys can stick around, I'll talk about stories for a couple more minutes. So stories for me in the last year is how I've totally built my brand and my following. My pictures are great, but my stories are how I have grown and how, like, what keep people coming back. Now, how many stories do I post today? I don't know, anywhere from like 5, 10, 30. It depends on what I'm doing that day. And I always say, if I'm quiet on stories, you know that I'm with other human beings. If I'm alone, I will post a ton of stories in the day. Or like, I don't know, today I posted like my Target trip. How often do I post to my story? Definitely every day. If I don't post to my stories, people think I'm dead. And the way I started my stories was that I posted like 2 weeks ago. So my feed, I'm a photographer. I'm an interior design photographer. So all the pictures I post on my feed are staged and beautiful and uncluttered and perfect. And it creates this illusion that I live this insanely beautiful, perfect life with nothing out of place. And I must be so OCD and not own anything and everything is perfect, right? That is not the case. I have 3 teenage boys. And when I take those pictures, it's a shitstorm behind. And so I like to show like the rest of my life on my stories. So I show my laundry room. People crack up. I have 3 boys. They have no interest in having any of their clothes in their room. So they go up to the laundry room on the 3rd floor where all the clean clothes are shoved into laundry baskets that are not folded. It's a mess. It looks like a tornado hit it. And I started showing that. People were mortified because they thought that I had this like perfect type A life and people could not believe. So what's the difference between stories and posts? Okay, the posts go in your feed, they're permanent and you want to post once a day, like 1 post a day. And then your stories, so let me show you. Turning around. Oh, I didn't mean that. Okay. So, this is me when I open my Instagram. If I want to make, okay, so these are posts right here. See all these? These are posts that are in my feed. And then when you log on to Instagram and you start scrolling, these are people's posts. The stories are up here and they're like quick little videos or pictures or whatever. That you can quickly, you can swipe to skip them. And they're just little snippets into people's lives. But these are the posts. So in my feed, these are the posts. And then the stories are up here. So to see anyone that has a rainbowy ring around their profile picture, that means that they have stories. It's me with my dog. So you can see by the amount of little hashes up here how many stories I have. The smaller those get, the more stories I have. So I don't know how many stories are up there. I mean, you guys can eyeball it. Like, what is that, like 20 maybe? So just to show you what I storied today. Okay. Of course I have. Okay, so here's me. I was on my way home from Trader Joe's. It was closed and I was pissed and I was talking about what I was gonna do for the rest of the day. Here's me. I was on my way into the gym. I was super proud of myself. I was saying that I work out around lunchtime. It's a bitch to get there. Is Instagram the best platform for your business? For me, yes, it depends upon what your business is, but I would say 100% yes. So there's me at the gym working out. I did a screenshot of the workout Peloton ride that I did to share with other people. So that's like a resource for them that they can learn from me. Here's me shopping at Target. I seriously don't understand this headless turkey. My oil rack. So I just kind of share like all the things. Here's my dinner that I made. People love when I show what I'm cooking for dinner. Moms always love a good dinner idea. People love seeing pets, me talking about this. And then I did the recipe of what I made for dinner. So then people can screenshot it. And if they want to make it, they can make it themselves. And that is it. Those are my stories from today. Then there's another thing called highlights, where since the stories go away, every 24 hours, the stories go away. If you want to save them and have them not go away, you can save them to what are highlights. So I have a highlight of IKEA tour. One of my things that I do is like, I'm a IKEA ninja. I can find anything in IKEA and make my house look like $1 million with IKEA. Recipes are awesome. People love recipes. How do you add text on the stories? Good question. Okay. So this is me, and I'm going to take a story of me holding you guys. So you hold down this button and you can see the ring is going around it, going around my finger. It's recording. So you record, it gives you 15 seconds to record whatever you're gonna record. You only get 15 seconds, and then it maxes out. And then up here is how you add text. So you click on the A, and then you can add your text. You can move the text around. You can, I'm sorry, I'm a horrible videographer. You can zoom it in and out. You can click on it again. You can change the color. Here's another key. This is like a pro tip. So say you want purple, but you don't want that shade of purple. You put your finger down. Let me see if I can do it with one hand. And then you get the whole rainbow, and you can adjust your color by pushing and holding down. And then you click done. And then the other thing that you can do, oh, this is key. You need to geotag, put your location on everything. I mean, if you're with little kids and you don't want people stalking your kids and you're storing your kids, I would not put a location on, but people search stories by location. I've gotten all my local followers because they found me on my stories because yeah, the color shades. So good, mind blown, right? So you want me to redo that, show you how I do it again? But bottom line, geotag everything. Let people know where you are. Always geotag my gym. I geotag Whole Foods. People search, they want to know like who's going to Whole Foods and what are they buying. All right, so to show you the color thing again, you click on text and then you pick your color. So if you wanted something blue, you push and hold down on the blue. Why location? Okay, hold on. Just as this is the color thing, so you can like move, do whatever color you want. Okay, done. Okay, here's my shtick on location. How do you hide your geotags? You don't have to geotag anything if you don't want to. How do you hide your geotags? Like you put Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but you're not really there. I mean, it doesn't, I put Dedham, like the town that I live in. I don't put my actual address. No, it's not, I mean, unless your house is an actual location or a business that it's going to show up on the map, no, they won't geotag you there. But people search, so geotag is another way to catalog your content. So you want as many eyes on your feed, right? You're building this for your business. This is not for your personal life. This is not for your family. This is not for your aunt and uncle to look and see what you're up to. This is to get more eyes on your feed so you can sell and promote and do what you're doing and grow your audience. Because you know what? You are not gonna build your business and your empire through people that you know. It's who you don't know, which is how you're gonna grow your business. So once you hit done, is the story available, or you have to release the button? Let me just show. All right, it's still up. Keep that by mistake. Okay. All right, so done. Once you record, you click the little plus your story and you add it to your story. I'll add this to my story just so you guys can see. And then it goes away and it goes up in your story and then you can see it and it's posted to your story. Yes, you should definitely geotag. I always say too, if you're at the zoo with your kids and you don't want people to stalk you, I mean, this is not, if you're a blogger and you have 1 million followers, this pertains more to you. If you're like a regular person and you don't have all these followers that are gonna like stalk you, it's not that big of a deal. You can geotag the hell out of everything. If your kids are involved and you don't want people to know like where you are and where your kids are, post after the fact. So like take some videos at the zoo or whatever, and then post them later and tag the zoo because you're not there anymore. So then people can go look for you at the zoo all day long, but you're sitting on your couch posting your stories. You don't have to post them immediately. You can record them. And then let me show you. There's a save button right next to where it says post or add to stories. And then, yes, you always tag after you left the area. I don't really have to because I'm always by myself. So it doesn't really matter to me. But Geotagging, I would geotag every single post you make because people search by by location. So I told my friend Kari the other night, I said, when I travel to a new city, the first thing I do is I go on Instagram and I put in the search bar Paris. And then I see the top posts from Paris. Where are the people? Where are they going? What are they doing? Then I might go on Yelp and I'll look up a restaurant, all the top restaurants, and I want a sushi restaurant in Baltimore. And I'll look at the top sushi restaurants in Baltimore, find the name of the restaurant, then I go right to Instagram, I plug in the name of the restaurant, pull up the geotag, and I want to see who's eaten there, what they ate, and what they wrote about it. So if you're geotagging, it's just more eyes on your feed. If you're geotagging, people are searching, people are gonna find you. I have all of my local followers have found me through my geotags, period. And now so many of them are now business partners. So I don't know, I think it's totally worth it. Long, hold your story face, and then you'll get the ad story. So I don't really do the tag Chicago when I'm in Dedham. If I'm posting a picture that I took in Chicago, like I travel a ton. So if I'm posting a picture from my trip to Italy and I'm posting it from Dedham and the trip was a year ago, I do tag Italy. But I try to make it authentic. I don't know how I feel about people tagging other cities when the picture wasn't really taken there. I have mixed feelings about that. I get the strategy, but I feel like it's inauthentic, and so much of me and what I believe and how to build your business is about authenticity. And if you're tagging a picture of you in Chicago when you're standing in Boston, like I just think that that's inauthentic. And then it's all about the trust. Like I'm trying to establish trust, and if people are like, what the hell is she tagging Chicago for? She's not in Chicago. That I feel like that's a little bit of breaking trust. Like if to me it's not worth it. Like I like to just be upfront and honest. I don't know. I just think that that's, for me, not a great strategy. I've seen other people do it, probably with success, but my biggest draw is me being me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I try to just be honest with everything. So, I mean, I'm all about living that honest life. All right. It's 10 past 10. I'm going to wrap it up because nothing good happens after 10 p.m., I think. I'm going to save this in the event. I think I'm going to wait. I think the last one I did was 2 weeks ago. I'm going to give you guys 2 weeks to implement all this stuff. I'm going to keep the event alive and going. I'm going to continue to post in it. And if I have any more like little tips and tricks or exercises for you guys to do, I will post quick little video snippets like I've been doing the past couple days. I'm super psyched for you guys to start implementing this stuff. And like I said, I know, but on all my stories, you don't see the little tag word because Zoe, I'm so lazy right now. So when I first was building my account, when I only had like 1,000 to 2,000 followers, I geotagged everything. I could not go to the bathroom without geotagging where I was because I wanted as many eyes on me as I could possibly have. To be honest, I've been a little bit lazier about geotagging, and this is giving me a swift kick to get back into the habit of doing all the things that I did to get my account to 5,000, and my goal is to get it to 10,000 as fast as possible, and I have to implement all of this with you guys. The only way I'm going to continue to grow is to do all the things I'm telling you to do. So the other thing, you know, everyone was asking, what am I charging for this? I'm charging nothing, but what I really want is for you guys to engage with one another and support one another. And like I said, like, be a giver on Instagram, don't just be a consumer. So you basically get out of it what you put into it. So how you make the tag small in the story, you just kind of like zoom it. You can like zoom it in with your fingers, kind of pinch it in. So what I really want from this is I want us all to kind of support each other. So go in, if you haven't already, in that earlier post in this event, link up your Instagram account. We can all follow one another. Let's support each other. We're all going to post about me's. We're all going to learn about each other, what we have going on. We are from so many different demographics, but we all have a similar goal. And we can be like a pod. They're like, the best thing about Instagram is developing relationships and learning from one another. Sharon, I'm going to save it and it'll go live in the group. Not go live, but you can replay it as many times as you want, because I know you want to watch it like 1,000 more times, right? I have like no voice now. Anyway, so this will go back up. Next time, I think in 2 weeks, I'm going to do a follow-up, and we're going to dive deeper into, I'm going to go over some editing tips with you guys, because I get that question a lot. Teach you very quickly how to take an iPhone picture from basic and make it pop. It's really not hard, and that is something that you will need to know. You do not need to be a professional photographer to have a beautiful feed. Keep your likes and comments going. The last thing is, when you go on social media, make sure every time you stumble upon someone's feed that looks good to you, like 3 of their pictures and comment on a 4th. And make your comments authentic. Next time, so this was all about like kind of you building your brand. In 2 weeks, we're going to talk about how to find other people and bring them into our realm. I do not have a Samsung. The location in your bio, is that only available for business accounts? Let me check, because I have a personal account on my other one. Yes, it is only available for business accounts. Can it be translated with the Samsung? The editing, yes. The apps are the same, Dawn. Totally the same. Editing and photos from an iPhone, yes. We're going to do that next. And we're also going to talk about how to find our targets. So it's not like doing all of this for the next 2 weeks is going to build your base, develop your brand, and so when people land on you, there's going to be consistency in content, and you're going to have a better sense of self. They're going to see who you are, what your brand is, and then in 2 weeks' time, we're going to talk about how to grow your reach and find other like-minded people, and how to bring them into your realm and get more followers in an authentic way without buying them, without doing that follow nonsense. Ollie's in the room now and he's laughing at me. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Feel free to message me. I respond to every DM I get within 24 hours. That's another thing. Don't leave people hanging. If you are running a business, respond to everyone. If you guys need anything, you can find me on my Instagram. And I will be available on this forum to answer any questions. So thank you guys so much for coming, and we will circle around in 2 weeks' time. Bye.